How's it going, everybody? Patriot Stacker here. So today I want to talk about using silver for an SHTF scenario. Some of us out there in the silver stacking and prepping community, we stack silver in preparation for an SHTF, whether it's an economic collapse or civil unrest or something even bigger and crazier than that. But some of us stack silver for that very reason. A lot of us stack silver to preserve our wealth and as a hedge against inflation. But some of us, especially in the prepping community, stack the silver just in case for an SHTF, which is stuff hits the fan, if you know what I mean. So, today we're going to be talking about using silver and stacking silver for an SHTF scenario. But before we get to the silver, I just want to emphasize that there are other preps that are much more important than silver. First off, your food and water supply is definitely number one. You want to be stocking food, canned food, non-perishables, MREs, whatever you're into, stocking that food supply as well as fresh drinking water or even water purification means. Those are the number one preps. At least in my opinion, that's what I believe. Number two, I think even before silver, I think stockpiling the brass, the copper, the ammunition, that is also very important. But stocking and stacking the silver, that is also a great thing to do if you are prepping for an SHTF. So even in modern day, back in the early 2000s in Argentina, things were going really south with their economy, and a lot of the communities were trading, bartering, and selling products using silver. Their paper dollar wasn't worth anything. So people were using coins like this, probably, their local silver currency or even silver bullion. But people were using this kind of silver for everyday transactions. And that was only in the early 2000s. So that is just a modern day example of how you would be using the silver in an SHTF or even in a minor economic collapse or just a minor SHTF where your paper money really isn't worth anything. The inflation has gone through the roof, and that paper money can't buy you a loaf of bread. But a few grams of silver, that might be able to get you that loaf of bread, or that dozen eggs, or a carton of milk. Or even if you're looking to possibly get some help from somebody, you can pay that person to work for you in silver, as a trade, as a barter. There's many uses as money when it comes to silver. Silver is the oldest money that there is. Silver has been around forever. People have been using silver as currency since biblical days, since early days. And the reason is because it holds an intrinsic value. It's a precious metal. So there are many uses for silver in an SHTF. Like we said, it's for bartering. It's for everyday transactions, getting food and supplies that you need, trading with others, So having silver in your preps, I believe, is a really good idea. So when it comes to stacking silver for SHTF, there's a handful of different ways you can get into silver. I personally prefer a fractional type of silver. So you're not giving away a whole troy ounce of silver for maybe, some eggs or some milk or some bread, or even, for a chicken or something like that. You need something smaller than 1 full ounce of silver. So I personally prefer 90% constitutional U.S. silver coins as the best stacking silver for an SHTF. You have silver dimes. So you have a very small piece of silver here, just a few grams of silver. Or you have silver quarters. And they could be Washington quarters, standing liberties, Barber quarters, whatever you want. But of course, the Washington quarters are easier to acquire. They typically are less expensive than some of the older coins because some of those hold numismatic value. And right now, since it's not an SHTF scenario going on right now, it's just everyday business. And coin collecting, is a big hobby. And you can, you can find coins out there that look just like this but are worth a lot more. So when it comes to stacking for SHTF, some 90% junk silver. They call it junk silver. They call it constitutional silver. But as long as it's 90% from the U.S., minted in the U.S., this is great silver to stack for SHTF. You have small denominations, you have quarters, and then you have half dollars, which are, a little bit more silver. That might get you a little bit further in your transactions. Stacking silver dollars, if you can get them for a decent price, close to what they melt in silver, then I would say, sure, definitely stack silver dollars for SHTF. But you want to be careful because some of those can hold a high premium, and you might be paying a little bit more for the silver, a little bit more than it actually melts for, compared to spot price of silver. Also, silver bullion, it's not a bad thing to have either. So something like this, they are 1 troy ounce of silver, and this might get you a little bit further as well. Maybe you're looking to buy some livestock. Maybe you're looking to get some gasoline. Maybe you're looking to make a little bit of a bigger purchase. So some 1 ounce silver bullion, it's not a bad idea. This will definitely get you a little bit further than some of the smaller denomination, the smaller weight of silver, like the 90% silver coins here. But any of this here, I think, is great for stacking for an SHTF scenario. So, God forbid anything like that ever happens. Of course, we don't want that to happen. If that happens, we're going to be worrying a lot more than using these silver coins to purchase things. There's going to be a lot more going on in the world that we should be aware and be careful of, despite having to go out and buy stuff in silver. So I personally believe as well that in an SHTF scenario, like I was just saying, things will be crazy. Things will be, dangerous and just kind of chaotic. So I also believe that having silver, stacking silver, is great for after that SHTF is over, post SHTF, if you will. It's maintaining wealth. You might have a bank account full of money, full of fiat. But first of all, during or after an SHTF, you probably can't get to that bank or use an ATM. Probably not. So maybe you'll say, oh, well, I'll just take all my cash and I'll, hide it under my mattress. Well, you know what? That fiat cash, that paper currency, that might not be worth anything either. It might still be good for the first couple weeks, couple months after an SHTF scenario. But once people start realizing that fiat paper currency isn't worth anything because it's just paper, it's just a promissory note, which basically means nothing. Now that it's SHTF, that paper promise note means nothing. It is worthless. So now you have an intrinsic, precious metal that you can actually maintain and store your wealth. So like I said, post SHTF, now you have a full bank account. You have all of this silver. You also can stack gold, which a lot of us stackers do. Stacking silver and stacking gold. Silver is great for those everyday transactions, and gold is even better to maintain and preserve your wealth after you start to rebuild, when your economy is rebuilding, when everything is starting to head towards a normal lifestyle, when the dust settles and things start to get a little bit better, then you have a full bank account, like I like to say. You have your money. It's right here. It's silver. It's gold. And that is great because now you're ahead of the game. So I do want to mention that there are coins and silver out there that carry very high premiums, meaning they are numismatic coins or collectible coins, and they cost much more than what the silver melt value is in the coin. And as a prepper, if you're stacking silver for SHTF, you want to stay clear of those types of silver. You don't want to be paying, these outrageous prices for, 1 ounce or less of silver when you can buy stuff like this that'll go a lot further. So I just wanted to mention that if you're looking to stack silver for SHTF, you want to stick with generic silver bullion and 90% constitutional silver coins, junk silver and junk bullion. You definitely want to stick with these low premium types of silver. So that's basically the video for today. I just want to show what I believe is the best type of silver to stack for an SHTF scenario. I call this survival silver. This is great to have, like I said, whether you're stacking for an SHTF or just stacking for a better future. These silver coins and silver rounds, you can purchase them at a certain price now, but if you look at trends in the past, the price of silver is only going up from here. I don't believe the price of silver is ever going to go back down. We're at like $24, $25 an ounce of silver, but just a few years ago, it was $15 an ounce. And even a few years before that, it was $9 or $10 an ounce. And then a decade ago, it was about $5 an ounce. And now we've seen $30 silver in 2020. It has dropped a little bit since then. 2020, of course, was a interesting year, to say the least. But I believe that the price of silver will only go up from here. So even if that SHTF scenario never happens, which we all hope it doesn't, and if it doesn't, then you have your wealth preserved, and it possibly will even go up in value, and you have a profit on top of that. So having silver, stacking silver for the future is just a great idea regardless. So if you are stacking silver, and if you're a prepper like I am, then you are ahead of the game. You're doing a lot better than most other people. You are maintaining and preserving your wealth. It's a hedge against the inflation in our economy, and you have an intrinsic precious metal at your disposal, whether it's for bartering, for daily transactions, or just as a savings account. Silver is a great thing to stack. And that's why I am a hardcore silver stacker. I stack silver, I stack gold. I think it is definitely the best way to go if you want to maintain your wealth and preserve that wealth and hedge against inflation. All right, so I hope you got something out of today's video. Not everyone out there is prepping for the apocalypse, but a lot of people are worried about their future. So having precious metals to maintain your wealth and hedge against inflation, and also just to have at your disposal, just in case something bad ever does happen, you are definitely ahead of the game and doing a lot better than many others who are not prepping, not prepared for what may come. So let's all hope nothing bad does happen, but of course we like to be prepared. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy videos all about silver stacking, precious metals, coin collecting, and all that fun stuff. And ring that notification bell so you can see when I upload my next video. And as always, have a great day.